Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Everyone checking in on the marijuana sector. Before we get to it, got to touch base on the psychedelic space. So congrats to the bulls that have gotten a piece of this new hype and euphoria, more accessible to Canadians. I can only chart MMEDF on the OTC. It started trading today, whereas started trading on the NEO exchange yesterday in Canada. Much more dollar volume in Canada. Here on the US side, we're looking at maybe $1.2 million traded today or something like that. That's too low for me to have any interest in it, but those in Canada have a bit more liquidity. So hopefully those of you who are watching this video have a shift of mindset where maybe a year or two ago you would be saying, this is the birth of an industry, I'm holding for 5 years. And hopefully now your mindset is saying, the last thing I'm going to do is lose money on this trade. I'm going to lock in some profit and I'm going to protect that position. So if there's anything that you've taken away from this YouTube channel, I hope that's it. But we had a nice close at the all-time high at the high of the day. We have a big old pump going, a lot of hype and euphoria, and we know it's sector-wide because SHRM is another one on the CSE, trading 3 days, and again, a big bull move today. So it's flashy. It's intriguing to people that are interested in the MJ space. It has big gains associated with it, but we know it's a game of musical chairs, and we know we're going to hit a temporary top at some point in the near-term future, and we know we're going to pull back 20% plus when that temporary top is hit. Will we form a daily high or low from there? Very likely. Because of the size of the bull moves, we will likely form daily high or lows. All I ask is that you just be extremely cautious and careful, and you have stops on all your positions, and you have game plans and exit plans, and if you are comfortably profitable, the last thing that you will let happen is the trade go red. CGC, so we had a midday volume pump in the sector. Big old spike in volume. And then CGC had bearish news start to leak out on Twitter. And then the announcement after hours where they are calling it a production optimization plan, which is the company business way of saying we're closing down facilities. We're likely going to take a solid write-off on our financials. And it's not a good thing. So we closed weak because of that. It's a daily inside bar. Support 1750 and 1705. And the bulls have to break 1854 and 1894 for any short-term shift in momentum. That being said, some other names held on to their pump, their midday volume pump, a bit better. So for APHA, solid bounce off the lows. Short-term resistance is 372. That's the most important level for me. I am interested in the short term. We're not changing daily trends right now, but if this 4-hour time frame gives me an inverse head and shoulders pattern, I may be interested. Left shoulder, head. What I would like to see is the market pull back, form a daily higher low in the S&P 500 while we form a right shoulder in some of these names. So fail to break 375. Pull back for a higher low compared to 325. Look for an entry. Put your stop below 325. Put my stop below 325. And then look for a bull break on the 4-hour time frame. So if it's going to be an ideal scenario, and if the trade's going to come to me, and if I'm going to take it, that's what I want to see happen. If we just shoot up and break 375 tomorrow, I'll say, nice move, congrats bulls, but I'm not interested in that setup. And then from there, because this move is coming off the low, we know we would still have to set a daily higher low and higher high to have a trend change. ACB, not really doing a whole lot. Anything under 179 is a daily lower high. We do have a base of support at 131, so there's a clear stop level to be playing off of, but not as strong a close as some of these names. Cron is the same thing. Nice strong close, all about 602, but if we reject from 602, it's an inverse head and shoulders setup where I would be looking for a higher low compared to 514 And again, just as an example, if this trade did come to me and if we consolidated into tomorrow, maybe I make an initial entry at 565, another at 575, or nope, 565, another at 555, another at 535, and then a stop under the low. So scaling in, if I'm right, we change the 4-hour trend, we get solid follow through, it's a big win. And if I'm wrong, I stop out on a lower low. TLRY, no bounce underway, still trying to find an all-time low and recover from the bearish reaction to earnings. Hourly time frame, new lower high set at 1305. Bulls will have to hold 1225 and break 1305 to change the hourly trend. Hexo is negating the daily bear flag by getting a significant enough bounce where we can at this point pull back 15+% and still form a daily higher low. So giving the bulls a bit of breathing room, but again, anything under 153 is just a daily lower high. Looks like OGI is missing. OGI, a daily inside bar, so not nearly as much strength there. Bulls have to get over 232 to keep this move going. VFF, low was 385, double bottom at 385. If the bulls are going to prove anything to us, break 450 off of that double bottom. Labs, trying to squeak out some more of a bounce. I'd be interested in Labs if it can see enough of a bounce for an inverse head and shoulders on the daily time frame. Let's see this bounce get up to $3, then form a daily higher low, then look to change the daily trend. Is this a daily trend change? That's not enough of a pivot for me. We broke support by $2. That's not a clear higher low and higher high coming from a prolonged downtrend. VLNS, negating the bear flag, giving nice space for the daily higher low to form once this move tops out. Loss of the hourly uptrend will be the indication that our daily top has been set. Right now, anything above the low of today is an hourly higher low. And bulls will then look for a daily higher low for potential entry using 275 as the stop. Same setup as the 4-hour time frame that I just went over, but this is on the daily chart. IIPR inside bar, short-term resistance 101.35, 101. Curious if this is a bit, Just going to see if that's an inverse head and shoulders as well. So pretty much if the inside bar breaks bearish, our daily lower high is set, and the bulls then have to form a higher low compared to 86.50. If we break it bullish, then we have not topped out yet, and the bulls are creating a whole bunch of space for the daily higher low to form once we top out. Curaleaf daily inside bar, if the bulls can hold 634 and break 724, we can call that a daily trend change. That's a much more clear pivot point for me. A much more significant percentage pullback for that higher low. Have to break 724. C-Web, trying to see some bounce follow through, but not doing a good job. We have to hold 625 and break 817 to change the daily trend. TRUL daily inside bar, not a whole lot going on. Key short-term resistance 1296. IAN, solid day today. Still a potential daily bear flag. I need to see this price up in the mid 120s if we're going to try and negate this daily bear flag. But 119 resistance could potentially be tested tomorrow. CL, solid bounce day off the double bottom, 515. Short-term resistance for me is 625. GTII, trying to get its bounce going as well. Did break the pattern of a lower high every day, but we're just looking for a daily lower high compared to 1219. And Harv, also not a double bottom, did break support by a couple pennies, but anything under 316 is a lower high. So that's where we stand. Couple 4-hour time frames to be watching. Couple daily charts creating nice space like VLNS, where bulls can be looking for a daily higher low to be the result once we do top out on this bounce. Same thing as SPY. Just did the market video, but SPY has bounced enough that we're going to be looking for a daily higher low when this bounce tops out, and VLNS doing the same thing. And there's definitely correlation there. 4 days of a bounce after a dump, 4 days of a bounce after a dump. Biden taking Super Tuesday. You could definitely look to some positive bright sides. It's not like MJ is going to disappear for 4 years if Biden were to get elected. You could say, well, We need some Senate seats for Democrats to have possibility of passing things like the SAFE Act. You could say if Biden does reschedule off Schedule 1 and opens up some funding for the sector, that would be bullish. As long as he leaves states alone to do their own thing, year after year, we'll continue to see states approving medical and recreational. It'll be a slow road. Bernie, in my opinion, would have been a fast, hard, hype bull run, which may not have played out longer term because he did not favor bigger companies. But again, in my opinion, the herd and retail would have seen legalization headlines and piled into the sector, not thinking 5 years down the road. So it'll remain to be seen, but from here on out, a couple more primary votes to see if Biden can solidify his lead in the Democratic Party. And then from there, we will just continuously watch polls as we get closer and closer towards November. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.